How you all doing? I'm down here, made it down here to my first delivery at Kroger's, down here in Fort Worth, Texas. And sitting up here on this dusty lot with all the damn potholes and mud flaps in it. And I got a 1700 appointment, which is delivery time here. That's when I'm supposed to go to the dock. But they may call me, so I'm hoping that I can get down here, shut down, and get me a break in before I go to my next appointment time at 5 a.m. in the morning, which is very difficult for me to really get a full, 10 hours of breaking. I run on my recap, so anybody that's trucking, they'll know about that. But anyway, I know I don't talk about trucking much. You know, I know it's one of my professions that I do because it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. It's not even a career, it's a lifestyle. But that's a whole nother topic that I'm gonna talk about another time. Um, in the future, I might try to get a few other truckers, people, buddies of mine, SoCal, Coco, a few other brothers and sisters that's out here in the trucking game, but that ain't what I'm gonna talk about right now. Because what I talk about is for years, you know, we have been told this one story that a certain group of people helped us out in the civil rights movement. And we also had the NAACP was formed by this group, by a certain group, better known as the Jedi community. They actually created the NAACP, on the advancement of color people. They created them organizations. And we didn't. We started to create organizations, but a lot of the organizations we created, they felt that they were too ethnocentric. So anything that's ethnocentric when it comes to black Americans, they try to disband it, you know. But when you talk about what Kanye and Kyrie Irving, and all of a sudden they've been vilified by the media. And when you think about it, them being vilified, these certain group of people, they have their individuals, that celebrities that are Jedi people, come out and say that we don't control anything. What you mean? Me personally, I don't control anything. And the whole thing is you have a lot of these Jedi people come out and say, I don't control nothing. We all don't stick together. And see, they'll look at themselves and say, well, I don't control what media. I don't control this and that. Let me tell y'all something, those Jedi people that say I don't control nothing, this and that. We're not talking about you. We're not talking about the rank and file average Jedi that go to the synagogue, that do that. We're not talking about you. But we all gonna tell the truth. We're gonna be factual. We're not gonna lie. And see what Kanye was saying, it bothered him, it shook him to the core. Because in what that documentary that Kyrie Irving dropped, I guess in the Twitter feed, they didn't like it. And the reason why they didn't like it wasn't that it was anti-Semitic, something that Kanye or Kyrie Irving said that was anti-Semitic. They were just coming off of facts that they didn't think that black people know about. See, the thing is, Louis Farrakhan came out with 2 books. Secret Relationship, Volume 1, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 1, and Volume 2. And these documentaries, well, if they want to make a documentary out of it, there's so much knowledge there, the documentary would be overwhelmingly long. So it's better to put them in a book. And you go and get this book and research it yourself. Now, a lot of people don't know, when you go look back at slavery, they'll make you think they were primarily Anglo-white folks that had slavery. They'll make you think that most of your slave owners were Anglo-white people that had slaves, that were the Southern aristocracy. And you had a few that did, no doubt about it. But when you go back and do a lot of research, you find out there's there was way more Jedi people that owned slaves than the rank and file average white individual, or palm-colored people. And then when you go back and look at the South, during that time, like I told a guy, that you actually had more Southerners go fight for the Union. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? Why you had more poor white Southerners fighting for the Union Army? Nobody has answered this question. They were the white Southerners was the major ones fighting for the Union Army. But see, they ain't gonna tell y'all that in the history. In the history book, they'll make you think that there was a whole bunch of that the majority of the Southern poor white Southerners were fighting for the Confederacy to hold on to the Confederacy. But ask this question: why would poor white Southerners fight in behalf of the youth for the Confederacy, but they didn't benefit it? They weren't getting hired. They didn't have jobs. They weren't getting hired because the Southern aristocracy had free labor. So do it make any sense for the poor white Confederate soldiers to fight for the Confederacy? No, it did not. It did not make sense. But you know who they had fighting for the Confederacy, which they don't never tell y'all about? They had black slaves fighting for the Confederacy. And those black slaves were turning around. They was winning a lot of wars. They were winning a lot of battles, not wars. They were winning a lot of the battles. So much so that the Confederacy, the Union had a hard time, winning a lot of battles until they had a whole bunch of runaway slaves, and free northern blacks said, we'll join forces to fight with you. Now, why is this important? I'm going to break something down to y'all, which y'all don't know. Your abolitionists, the only reason why they abolition the South is because of resources, and they wouldn't get taxed because the Southerners, Jedi people who were the primary slave owners down there in the South, which they don't like to talk about, they were the primary slave owning class. Another thing too, what they don't tell y'all about, a lot of those Jedi Confederacy was married to black women. They don't tell that to y'all either, huh? But that's a video I already discussed that. Anyhow, Farrakhan brought that up in these 2 books he did. Now, the whole thing of them discrediting the books, they try to discredit it, but they can't. They can't discredit it and they can't refute it. So you fast forward all the way to Jim Crow. They'll make you think that the Jedi people was helping civil rights, were in the civil rights movement all the time. They were actually trying to throw a monkey wrench in the real program itself to make themselves look like they were fighting for black freedom when they really wasn't. There was a movie me and my wife looked at a couple of weeks ago when I was at home, and basically this movie, I forgot the actress, but they had comedy in it, but I can't think of the name of the actress they had in it. I can't think of her sister's name that played in the movie. But this was about a movie about this black woman, and they still had slaves living on the plantation in the 1960s, damn near to the 70s. They still had people living in slavery, living in the backwoods and shit, in Mississippi. Nah, that was in Georgia. I take it back in Georgia. And I wouldn't doubt that if he did have shit like that going on. Because somewhere in them back damn woods, you don't know what's happening. You know? But this shit just recent. So when you look at this shit, and you talk about reparations, if you notice most of the ones that's against reparations are a lot of the Anti-Defamation League, they're against reparations. Why? Because a lot of them ancestors were slave owners. A lot of your Fortune 500 companies were slave auctioneers. Like the Rothschilds got rich on slave labor and cotton. But they ain't gonna tell y'all that. So when Kanye said that black people chose to be slaves, all you had to do is look at these Negroes now. And Kanye the only one figured it out. The Nation of Islam been telling y'all for a long time. And at one time I thought Kanye was just trying to be controversial and shit like that. I really did. Then I started doing research myself, and you look at Negroes now. You got niggas that's Negroes. I'm gonna take that back. I ain't gonna say Negroes. I'll take that back. I'm gonna say you got brothers and sisters locked in deals. Whether it be in the sports or entertainment. They like to deal with Jedi handlers. Why you think they promote BET awarded Glorilla to do a video about boarding the black babies? And talking about basically she's like a white supremacist. And BET gave her an award for this, and she doing the same video. She did that same song on the stage at the BET Awards, and everybody up there cheering that shit on. This BET cheering this shit on. But in order for her to make it in the industry, she had to put out trash like that. All these women gotta put out the trash that they doing like that. That's the only way they gonna get a record deal. They gotta do the most ratchetest shit ever to get a record deal. Negroes gotta talk about killing and selling drugs and shit to each other. That's the only way you get recognized. You can't talk. You got so many artists, female artists out here in the business. That's way better than Cardi B. Better than Cardi B. Better than Megan Thee Stallion, the male horse. Better than Glorilla, better than the City Girl. They got chicks up here on YouTube. If you go look at their music, they're not getting promoted. That's way better than them, but they ain't promoted. Instead, they give y'all that garbage of women twerking and crap like that. They give y'all that crap, and y'all Negroes are entertained by it. Y'all Negroes are entertained by anybody like monkeys. I'm just keeping it 100. Y'all entertained by the minstrel shows. But they gotta make music like that because you know why? They on a plantation. Where these brothers threw Kyrie Irving under the bus for trying to be free from the plantation. These brothers threw him out of the plantation. Niggas came up. Oh, he was wrong for that. He needs to apologize. But your boy, he had to go apologize. He had to go down, what's his name? Stephen Short. He had to, normally he don't get on the coon train, but when it's almost like he was they forced him to get out there and try to say something about Kyrie Irving. They forced him to do that. Because normally, Stephen Short wouldn't even do no shit like that. He don't look like that type that would do that. But see how they got Brother Kyrie doing? They want him not only to bend over, they want him to do so much to bend over, and then they gonna try to say they don't got no power when they got their brother. Why not just a simple apology? If it was about him making an apology, why they just can't take the apology? No, they want him to do more than that. Not only do they want to strip him of his career, but they want to strip him of his job, basically buck breaking to show all y'all other niggas to keep y'all mouth shut. They want to tell y'all to keep y'all mouth shut. Or we gonna make it hard for you. Ain't that not showing your power? I don't know what is. By them getting Adidas, and I used to like Adidas. By getting Adidas and Nike to stop, take their contract from Kanye, which Adidas itself come to find out was founded by former Nazi member parties back in the day. That's who founded Adidas, and now they want to try to clean their hands of Kanye. Fucking hypocrites. The real truth is, me personally, I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe in none of this Hebrew Israelite bullshit. I don't believe in none of it. But by the simple fact that this brother's being attacked for something he believes in, is bullshit. Bullshit. And I hope Kyrie, at one time I didn't support Kanye and what he was doing, but I'm starting to look at Kanye trying to do some shit. Kanye been doing a lot of shit that we thought was crazy, and then to come and find out, it's starting to make sense now. It's starting to make sense. Nothing like a cold A&W record, man. Cherokee. Then you got these Negroes want to come out of pancake, come out. The GLI people, they been with us every step of the way. We been black. It's a lot of black male anti-Semitism in the black community. Anything you got the bad wenches coming out, want to support them because let's keep it real. You got a lot of these black females married to some of these Jedi men. But I digress.